Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a very powerful audio channeled message from Archangel Michael. And make sure you subscribe so you catch all my videos to support you on your awakening and ascension journey. Now, I am a full body channel, so when you listen to this message, you are definitely going to hear my voice change. Now, in this message, Archangel Michael covers a wide range of topics that are critical for us to understand at this particular point in our awakening and ascension journey. So here is Archangel Michael.
Greetings, dearest friends. It is Archangel Michael, Michael, or whatever is your preferred pronunciation. This message is for those who desire to hear it. If you do not find yourself interested in this message, then you can be assured that the message is not for you. So for those who are willing to receive this message, who are willing and prepared and ready, let us go much deeper than perhaps you have ever gone before within your illustrious cosmic selves. There is so much that you still have yet to understand, but I will give you the most pressing items at this particular time, the things that are most important for you to reckon with overall in terms of your larger planetary situation. Before I begin, I do want to acknowledge that there is a great deal of pain and suffering currently among the human sphere of this planet. However, I want you to also understand that when humans suffer, so too does all of nature. So too does the planet itself. So too does the animal and the plant kingdom, because you are all deeply interwoven, interconnected, not only physically, but energetically and spiritually as well. So although humans have fancied themselves to be separate from nature for a very, very long time on this earth, I can assure you that you are not separate and that your suffering ekes into the entire planetary realm of nature. It vibrationally brings down the entire planet. So suffering in that sense is in no way a noble cause. And for any of you who harbor guilt and believe that you deserve to suffer, you are not contributing to anyone, and least of all are you contributing to yourself. Because you see, guilt is a trap. Guilt is a trick. It's a trick to encourage you to engage and support and indulge in your own suffering. I would suggest that you banish the concept of guilt immediately. It serves no purpose whatsoever other than to impede your evolution and your even higher ascension journey. The other problem with guilt is that you can be easily manipulated through guilt to suffer. You can be easily manipulated to accept that you deserve suffering. So I recommend that you take the time to look throughout your personal life, and even more so your collective life, and notice how you have been infiltrated with a deep, deep, deep sense of guilt. Notice how much guilt is used to control you. Let us look at your current situation of needing to wear a face covering, lock yourselves down to literally practically no activity whatsoever, and stay as far away from each other as possible. Now, you might think that the primary motivator in that sense is fear, but I would suggest that there is a deeper, more insidious motivator, and that is the motivator of guilt. In other words, it is stated constantly to all of you what a bad person you are, how guilty you are, how inherently, perhaps even evil you are said to be if you do not follow the instructions that are given to you by the upper level powers that be. So in this sense, what exactly are you guilty of, my dearest friends? Are you guilty of wanting to breathe normally as nature intended? Are you guilty of wanting to have a life, of wanting to be creative and live as a creator? It's interesting, if you look at it, how those are the things that make you guilty. The things that are natural unto you as a human being, as a cosmic human creator, the things that are natural to you are now cause for you to be guilty and deemed a bad person. They are cause for you to be deemed necessary to be removed from the social sphere. So this is very interesting, is it not? That to do that which is wholly unnatural to you, completely and totally against your nature, is now said to be good and positive. And that is the essence of what is going on behind all of this. The essence is demanding that you go against your true nature. Now, by going against your true nature in these ways, what happens is that you detach from the planetary realm. You detach from the rest of nature, and you detach from yourselves. So what, might you ask, could be the purpose of such an abomination? Well, let us not confuse excuses with purpose. Because what you are being given are many reasons why. Reasons why you must go against yourselves. Reasons why you must turn your back on nature itself. Reasons why you must turn your back on the fundamentals of what it means to be human. You are being given numerous reasons why, and all of those reasons are being backed by guilt. Guilt that is projected onto you. Now, human beings tend to be very, very wary of guilt. They don't like it. Do you know why? Because you have been said to be guilty from day one. You've been said to be guilty creatures for many thousands of years. The fact that you've been deemed guilty has been the fundamental underlying purpose. Well, I won't call it purpose. Let's just call it reason for your suppression and for you to be controlled. Because let me inform you of something exceedingly important, my dearest friends. When in your natural state, you are uncontrollable. When in your natural state, you are empowered. You are indeed a creator. A creator cannot be controlled by lower level nefarious forces. It simply isn't possible. However, if you as the creator can be convinced of your own guilt, of your own badness, if we can put it all in one simple word, then you can probably be motivated to do just about anything. So it is true indeed that fear is obviously being used, but guilt is the deeper sledgehammer that is being used against you in your consciousness. So the first thing I would suggest you do, if you wish to ascend, if you wish to evolve into higher levels of consciousness and higher levels of physicality, the first thing I'd recommend you do is dispel all guilt permanently. You do not have to believe in guilt. You do not have to accept guilt. There is no law in this entire creation that says, thou shalt accept being guilty. Thou shalt accept being lesser than. Being lesser than what, you might ask? Well, being lesser than what you actually are. There's no law that says you must accept such a thing. So being that there is no universal law that you are required to accept being less than what you are, why not dispense with it now? And now that is the first part of my message. Let us get into the second part. Let us get into a deeper level of understanding and awareness about what is happening on your planetary sphere when it comes to being shut down, locked down, suppressed, and suffocated. As we all know, there are wonderful excuses for this, right? So I do not wish to debate the reasons why or the excuses. I am not interested in debating any of that. What I suggest that you all look at is the fact of the global effect, the planetary effect on your humanity with all of this. How much are you willing to adapt psychologically and emotionally to your current circumstances? Now, let us not even debate the physical circumstances. Let us not debate what is happening and what you are being told to do on a physical level, because that is a losing battle, I can assure you. Let us instead look at the spiritual side, what you call the spiritual side. Let us look at the emotional side. Let us look at the psychological side, because those elements are not debatable. One cannot excuse those away. So here is the situation as I can express it to you in the simplest of terms. In the simplest of terms, you have now put on not just a physical mask, but you have also put on a psychological mask. Now, I'm speaking collectively. There will be some hearing this message. Some of you will say, well, that's not me, Michael, and that is totally fine. But I speak right now to you as a collective humanity. So you have put on your face a physical mask, but there is a deeper mask that you are all wearing on a collective basis. The physical mask is not the most serious part. What's most serious is the mask that you are creating as a result of the physical mask. You are creating a mask that says, I am not who I really am. I am completely okay with this. I can live with this. I can adapt. I can make it work somehow. So now you have become faceless. You have become expressionless. You have become socially distanced and detached from one another. So on the surface, you see many people going about their business day to day as though this is entirely normal, as though this is entirely fine, because it is excused, because there is a good reason for it. Reasons are attachments to reality. They are not reality. Reality is results. Reality is what is actually manifesting. Reasons are merely the attachment of an idea, the attachment of a belief. So, for example, if you wish to create or manifest something that is an abomination to all of nature, if you want to create that abomination and get away with it, all you have to do is create a mental reason for it, a belief that you attach to your actions of creating that manifestation. And once you attach that belief, it's suddenly supposed to make it okay. So, do you have any idea the magnitude of the effect on your humanity of this degree of being completely shut down? Do you have any idea of the effect, the energetic effect, the emotional effect, and the psychological effect? Well, many of you don't, because you have it covered up with a mask that says this is my new identity because it makes me a good person. This is what human means now. Human means to live this way because living this way means you're good. Living other than this way means you're bad. So that's the simplicity of the atrocity that is being perpetrated on you at this very moment. And again, for those of you who will say, wait, I don't feel that way, remember I said I am speaking to the collective. So the majority, or let's say close to the majority, it's shifting a lot. It doesn't always stay the same. Human consciousness is always shifting and moving. It's not necessarily stagnant in one place. So let us just say there is a very vast number of human beings who absolutely do believe in the way that I just described, who are willing to accept anything. Again, remember, I'm not going to debate the physical manifestation. I am simply asking you to consider going deeper. Now, what happens when you go beneath this psychological, emotional new mask of what you call human, what you call being a good human being? What you will find if you go much deeper and you go down to a soul level and you are brutally honest with yourself, you are going to find a sense of pain and horror at what is happening that you have perhaps denied within yourself. Now, you might say, well, Michael, why is that useful? Why would I want to look that deep? Why would I want to find an experience such as what you just described? Well, I'll tell you why. It will motivate you to wake up. And it is imperative that you wake up. Imperative. Because as long as you continue to adapt, make do, and justify, and change your literal identity of what it means to be human, and let me point something out about the word human while we're on the subject. You might notice that less and less is the term human being used, and more just simply the term human. Why is that? Why is that shift taking place? It's because human being is going away. And human is becoming more of a containerized idea. It's as though human is a container of sorts, whereas human being is a living, infinite being. So pay attention to how the phrase human being is very slowly beginning to disappear. Now that I have said that to all of you, let me add something else. You see, we are at a point now, in terms of what we must communicate to you, that which is I and those who stand with me, that we need to make you aware of certain things that you have perhaps been in denial of. But there is a positive outcome to becoming aware of those things. The positive outcome is that you will realign yourself with a brand new trajectory that is much more likely to take you where you really want to go. Yet it is also very important and quite urgent that you are willing to look at things that you perhaps were unwilling to look at prior to this moment. But understand that looking at those things, as unpleasant as they might be, actually puts you in alignment with reality. Actually puts you in closer alignment with those who are here to serve and to help you through this for those who desire to be helped. Because there are many who do not desire this type of help. There are many who simply want to be told everything is fine, everything is good, there is nothing to worry about here, there's nothing to see, just go about your business. There are many people who that is all they wish to hear. But there are also those who are serious about the situation. There are those who are willing, who are the warriors of the light. The warriors who are unafraid to recognize the extent of the battle. And I don't mean just a physical battle, because I know that on planet Earth, human beings are very given to focusing only on the physical when it comes to a so-called battle. But there is a much bigger thing happening here. So my message for you today is for those who are not afraid to address reality, for those who desire to address reality, for those who do not feel content to cover it up with niceties so that they can feel better. So let me share with you one more thing that you absolutely must attend to immediately if you are serious about your evolution as a humanity or as an individual. What all of this is doing, without you realizing it, is causing a greater and greater detachment from your hearts. Detaching from your heart, I can assure you, my dearest, dearest friends, is exceedingly unwise. It is probably the most unwise thing that you could ever do, particularly in times such as these. And let me explain to you the reason why it is so deadly, really, and so unwise. If you detach from your heart, all that you're left with is what you see and experience happening on this earth. That's all you're left with. What's happening on this earth is not very aligned with being a human being. In fact, it's not aligned at all with being a human being. As a matter of fact, it is quite alien to you as human beings and to your planet Earth. So there's a tremendous alien influence surrounding this planet in the form of AI technology. This AI technology is not in alignment with nature. It is not in alignment with you as human beings. It is not in alignment with your planetary sphere or with any aspect of nature on this earth at all. So what is happening as this AI technology overtakes you more and more and more is that you are becoming absorbed. You are becoming more and more absorbed. If you disconnect from your divine, precious, most beautiful heart, there's nowhere for you to go except to be absorbed by this AI technology. There is literally nowhere for you to go. So it is imperative that you stay connected with your heart. Now, here's another reason why you must stay in your heart at a conscious, visceral level. The other thing that is being lost with all of this AI technology is your remembrance of that which is termed beauty, inspiration, powerful, visionary light and love. It's being lost. Your heart is the only access point through which you can be inspired by the higher realms. There is far too much happening these days where everyone is looking for a mental explanation for it all, where people are looking for mentally oriented assurances that all will be okay, everything will be fine. So you're looking for those assurances far too much on the outside. You're looking for those assurances far too much from external sources. That is not where your assurance lies, my dearest friends. Your assurance lies within you, within your heart of hearts, within that divine center through which you can be reached by omnipresent love. Now, what is the definition of beauty? The definition of beauty is very simple. Beauty is the manifestation of love in form. Now, that does not just refer to three-dimensional form or finite physical form. It refers to form in any and all dimensions, in any and all realities, and in any and all universes. So love manifesting in form of any kind is the specific definition of beauty. Now, one of the other things that is being lost on your planet are the arts. The arts are being suppressed because when you're not permitted to have any movement, one of the first things that goes away, and it's been going away for a long time, it didn't just start now, is art in the everyday life of humanity. Now, you might say, well, Michael, why is that important? Why should we care about art? Isn't that just some subject we learned about in school? My dearest friends, do you understand that art is the manifestation of you as a creator? Now, the topic of art is something that has been pushed to the side, put in a box, as some sort of recreational activity, or in another way, some sort of activity specifically designed for those who are wealthy enough to partake of it in galleries and theaters. That is not art. That is the caging of art. That's art being put in a box. That's art being put into an inaccessible form to the masses. So are you going to allow for that, or are you going to take it back? Are you going to take back your absolute human right to experience artistic creation? Because that is your right. And now, why is that important? It's important because it's the only way through which you can get your energy flowing in a radiating flow of light and manifestation of that beauty. Now, art is not necessarily just painting. It's not those forms that it has been identified with. Life is art. Nature is art. Art is everywhere. Art is the last 3 letters of the word heart, if you pay attention to that. So you can bring more of that in. Now, what happens when you experience inspiration, which begins in the heart, manifests in the mind, and therefore radiates out into a physical expression, that, my friends, is what will empower you. That is what will remind you that you are a creator. That is what reminds you that there is something called beauty. There is something called love manifesting. You're not experiencing love manifesting on this planetary sphere right now, are you, on a wider level? Because the things that you're being told to do and being told are what a loving human being does. I want to ask you to ask yourselves, is that an expression of love? Or is that just a new belief that has been installed in your mind? Is it an expression of love to go against everything about you that is naturally human? Is it an expression of love to fear, to withdraw, to divide and separate? Is that indeed an expression of love? Or are you just believing everything you're told? So let me get to the point as to why connecting with your heart, it's not even just connecting with your heart, my dearest friends, it's being at one with your heart. Being at one with your deepest, most primordial, most divine, infinite essence. Being at one with that center point of who you really are. Why is that so important? Because from there, you can be inspired toward beauty, toward life, toward the most magnificent expression of life that you could ever imagine, toward an expression of life that is so profound and powerful, you've never even seen it happen on this earth. But it does exist, and it is indeed your destiny, eventually. The question is, how long do you want it to take? How many more eons and eons and eons of time? In all different renditions of whatever it is you're still playing around with, do you want to go through before you reach that which matches your true, highest, most magnificent self? In order to reach that place, you have to be certain that you never lose sight of what beauty really is, of what inspiration really is, of what love really is. You cannot afford to lose sight of it, my dearest friends, because if you lose sight of it, you lose your way. You then risk being reduced to a frightened individual whose only wish is to get away from the pain, whose only wish is to be rescued and saved, but to be saved for what? You don't even know. So you are at a very serious crossroads as a humanity at this point in time. Some of you will hear this message, others of you will not. And then there are those who will reject it, which is perfectly fine because, as I said, if you're not interested in this message, you can be assured this message is not for you. You see how simple that is? Nothing to struggle with there. But if you are interested in this message, I implore you, go beneath the mask, not just the physical mask, the other mask that is being psychologically constructed as a new identity. Go beneath that one, Go into your heart, your soul, and see how do you actually really feel about this when you take off the belief and the excuses as to why this makes you a good person. As you take off all of the reasons why, what do you really feel? What have you been unconscious to about what you really feel? So go there first, and then recognize that the only way out of that pain is via your heart, because your heart is like a doorway. It is a gateway of light. It will light your way. It will light your path forward. So go with inspiration. Seek inspiration, my dearest friends. Do not be content with just mental explanations and mental reassurances that everything will be fine. Do you comprehend what a complex planet this is? What a complex universe this is, and how complex you actually are as a powerful cosmic creative creator? Do you have any idea how complex all of it is? Do you really think that you are such a superficial entity that all you need are just outward new beliefs and new reassurances, and then you can just sit back and tell yourself it's all fine, nothing to see here, nothing to do? You're not that superficial. You're not that small. You are far greater than that. You are capable of going much more deeply into yourself. You are capable of so much more within your own heart than you have ever allowed yourself to experience. So that is the fundamentals of my message for you today. This message for you is urgent. The reason it is urgent is because there are forces at work who have one thing in mind, and that is to get you to completely detach from your hearts. Because once you're detached from your heart, it could be a very, very, very long time before you ever find your way back to that experience. Now, for those who might say, Michael, I do not know how to connect with my heart. I don't even know what my heart is. I'm not sure what you're even talking about. How do I do that? Because that's always the question, isn't it, dearest friends? The question is always how. How is a very disempowered question. It demonstrates how unempowered you actually feel. So here's my suggestion for you. This is overly simplified, but at least it's a start. If you want to connect with your heart, you're going to have to put away the devices, at least some of the time, and connect with nature. Connect with the three-dimensional natural world again. Here's another suggestion. Be very wary of how you perceive entertainment, how you are possibly being manipulated through all the different avenues of so-called entertainment. Because many of those avenues of entertainment are specifically designed to control and manipulate your consciousness. So entertainment is not what you need. Entertainment is an escape from the pain, isn't it? Entertainment is not what you need. What you need is fulfillment. What you need is love. What you need is power. What you need more than anything else is inspiration. So look for inspiration through the arts. Look for inspiration in nature. Look for inspiration through meditation. Find what inspires you. Find what uplifts you. It's not enough anymore to just say, raise your vibration. That is important indeed, but it needs to go so much more deeply than that. It needs to go to the center of who you are, to the center of your being. I implore you, my dearest friends, the AI technology is extremely severe at this point. Don't let it overtake you. Don't let it destroy your connection to who you really are as a cosmic human being. So with that, I'm sending you a great deal of love, blessings, and I will talk to you once again, hopefully in the not too distant future. Blessings to all of you.